Pergola looks good there.
Thanks, yeah, they did a nice job.
Looks great. I need one about 30 by 20.
That's, mine turned out to be, I got funny pads, so it's like 19 by 14 and a half or something like that.
I'd be over for like a Memorial Day picnic for the parents. Over in Michael's yard. Gravel and...
It's like anything, you wish you doubled the size of it after it's off.
It looks good though.
How you doing, Rob?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good evening.
Haven't seen you in a while, but talked to you a lot. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Town of Alexandria Board meeting for May 15th, 2024. Could you please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Meeting to order. Motion to approve and pay the April abstracted bills.
I'll make the motion to pay the bills.
Motion by Gene, second by Tim. Any discussion?
We only have one.
There's a bunch of notes on the bills and some things that I put on there so that Nicole can change some things that we're doing.
Have one in the prepaid that is missing the stamp with the GS number on it.
Which one was it?
In the prepaid, they've got iron sideways.
IRS, I think.
IRS, yep.
That's the only thing that needs adjusting. Everything else is
So are we
good to
okay
go.
to pay that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just needs the GS and a number put on it before it goes in the abstract.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None. Motion passed. Motion to approve the meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Tim, second by Gene. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Which ones?
Is that for all three of them? There's three, April 17th, April 23rd, and May 1st.
Yeah, we saw them all come through this week.
Yeah, I make a motion to accept based upon the corrections already noted. On all three.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, none. Okay, motion passed. At this point, at 6 o'clock, we will open up the public hearing on local law number 5 of 2024, volunteer firefighter and volunteer ambulance workers real property tax exemption, a local law to allow for a 10% tax reduction. Motion to open that public hearing?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Dale, second.
I'll
By
second.
Sean or Tim. All those in favor? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed. Public hearing is open. Anybody have anything to say in regards to the local law for the tax exemption?
Could you just tell us, is it exactly just for the active firefighters, or is there more people involved in it, or?
So I think, as of right now, it's really gonna be determined upon the chiefs from each fire district. So, if you're asking specifically about honorary members, I'm assuming, up to the chief,
What's that?
right? Everyone agree with that?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So we're not a district, so, but if the chief of the Alex Bay Fire Department wants to allow honorary members into that exemption, are they saying, I mean, they're not active, but I mean, they've got the years of service and...
Correct, up to them. So pretty much, we talked about this a little bit before, you know, process would be the chiefs will verify a list, send a list over to the town will make sure it gets with our assessor, and then the exemption will hit.
Now, do you know how long that legislation was kicking around before it actually got approved? I mean, I've got members that go back, they've been honoraries for like 30 years now. You know,
I think the first that I saw municipalities doing the tax exemption was last year. Was the first that it came to us that it was possible. was in 23 that I know of.
That just gives us a set of guidelines. I'm one of the chiefs, so I mean, it just gives us a set of guidelines to, you know, maybe how far back we go. Maybe, you know, the people that just got out the past couple of years that met the qualifications could be added to that list.
Yeah, we need to make sure that your chief and you guys have a copy of the actual law.
Yeah.
That's from the state that has some parameters in there about 5 years of service and 20 years of service and so on and so forth.
This does not specify that, so.
I'm just reading what I see here in front of me.
You need to have it redone before you guys approve it tonight, because that is not what this says, unless I'm not reading right.
What is she referring to?
Are you,
That's up to the chief.
It says that, where did it go? The individual is an enrolled and certified member of an unincorporated fire department or volunteer ambulance service, serves in the town of Alexandria and has a minimum of 5 years of service. That tells me if
Yeah,
I
this wasn't the same, verbiage that we looked at last board meeting.
Okay, this
The
is what Andy sent us 15 minutes ago.
Well, that's why we don't rush to failure.
Yes.
And that's why, you know, when we looked at this last board meeting and under, you know, the local law, or the law that we had presented to us, there was specific wordage in there that gave, you know, the flexibility and interpretation. There was a gray area in there. And that gray area for honorary members, we are not qualified as a board to dictate that, so we deferred that to the chief. So based upon, you know, further investigation and looking at the actual law, whether Andy sent it to us, or he was here last meeting, and if it's changed from their last meeting to this meeting, we'll sweep up the broken glass on that. Apologize for that, but I can't speak for the rest of the board, but for honorary members, we cannot speak intelligently to that, and the board had already decided, we had a great discussion on it, according to the minutes last meeting, to defer that to the fire chiefs, to see whether or not, and you know, Walt, and a lot of you know, that honorary members, you know what I mean, there's a lot of different reasons people are on, you've been a chief, you know that more so than anybody.
Right.
You can speak more qualified to that, whether that person should be considered or not. And that's really where we deferred. Am I wrong? And
No, you're right.
You're right.
So we'll hold off anything until we see a copy of the actual law, and David and I and the other two chiefs can discuss it with President Martin as well. So, and we'll keep you advised, we'll let you know.
Yeah, and I apologize in advance, because based upon what we read, our interpretation of the law with our lawyer here, and the board unanimously voted to let the chiefs see what honorary members would fall within that purview, because I don't think that's fair to the board, and we wouldn't want to overstep our bounds either, and we move at the speed of trust. We trust the chiefs to say, okay, you know, this person, like you already articulated, served, you know, was an honorary, and Dale spoke eloquently to it last board meeting, there's been honorary members throughout, you know, all the different district fire departments that may or may not meet the criteria, but we can't do that because, like you said, there's people that 30 years ago, we can't speak intelligently to that. So I say we table this, get clarification of the law, and then if we need to attack with the attorney, we do that.
yeah, my assumption is certified has an asterisk on here for a reason, but it should be defined. Enrolled and certified member, but it doesn't define by who. So that's really what this is missing.
Correct. Thanks, Sandy, for bringing that up. Great point.
Okay.
I think
Any other
the way
public-
the way it was discussed last month, the way I took it as an outsider, and I don't see all the stuff that you guys do month to month, was that you guys questioned whether honorary members should be in it. And you were deferring that to the chiefs, and that's why I tried to make sure I reached out to everybody in Plessis and Redwood and Alex Bay and said, please make sure you're there, because you wanted to hear from them, do you want honorary members included? That's what, no offense, and don't take this the wrong way, Walt, the whole reason for public comment is for you guys to come and say, yes, we want them, or no, we don't. The board reviews your public comments, they make the final decision. It's not you going back to the fire department. That's what this is for right now, for you guys to say what you want. They take it under advisement and say, yep, we're gonna go with that, or no, we think it should be just for certified. I do think there needs to be clarification as to, is this going to be retroactive? Or is it just for people who are currently members and forward? And I think that's a very murky, unclear area, but we don't want, you know, Walt to think of it one way and then Plessis or Redwood to be thinking of it another way. It needs to be much more
Yeah, that's fine, and
clearly defined.
you're spot on, and what we were given was the overall, legal language, not the local law amendment. So, it's not fair to the board, it's not fair to the community and you all as a whole to get something we haven't reviewed 15 minutes prior to a meeting, and make a data-driven decision based upon it. So we're gonna stay true to our word on what we discussed last. We'll go back, consult our lawyer if you're all right with that, and the board's all right with that.
So we'll table it.
Apologize for that.
Do you need a motion to table it?
Yeah, we will, I got a question.
Butch Martin, I'm the president for Alex Bay Fire Department. To clarify the definition of an honorary or sometimes exempt, the terms run side by side. They are still a member of the fire department. The only difference is they don't have voting rights.
Right.
So they're an honorary member or an exempt member is still a fireman.
So basically what he's telling you is they're entitled to anything that I'm entitled to. They just can't vote in the meeting, and they can still be pressed into service. I mean, if Dale's an honorary and shows up at a fire scene and we're short-handed, and I got turnout gear that'll fit him, his butt's gonna be in it, you know? So, I mean, they still can be pressed into service, but they chose that they just don't have the time and the energy to keep volunteering.
Yep.
I think really where we were, last month, where we were, focusing on, was specific verbiage, in the law, if we, adopted it, there was a gray area in there for honorary, and there was some cloudiness of, it didn't mention exempt, but it talked about honorary, and it had some other verbiage in there, that constitute, that they would be considered into it, but it was open for interpretation. So we'll do our homework and get that incorporated into the local law.
It would be 2025's taxes anyway, right? I mean, it would be next year's taxes.
Correct.
So you got time. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not
Yep.
like we're,
Absolutely.
you know, we
Absolutely.
missed the May 15th deadline. It's just, you know, so. Yeah, we're good with it.
And we can reach out, you know, offline too, and add that clarity too, once we get it from Andy.
We'll come back next month for clarification.
Yeah, I'm not moving today.
Anybody else have any public comments or concerns?
I've never done this before. Do I have to give my name and what?
Yes, please.
Kathleen Morris. And I'm here representing, the Rights of Nature group, and I think we talked a little bit about the...
Hold on. This is for...
public hearing is just for the firemen's thing, once they finish
Oh, okay,
that.
I'm sorry.
They
Open it up
they
to
gotta
you.
close this, and then you'll be able to.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
Yep, that's my problem. Any other questions as far as this local law is concerned? During the public comment period. If not, I'll take a motion to close.
I'll make a motion to close.
Motion by Sean to close, second by Dale. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, none.
Sorry about that, gang.
That's all right.
I just have one question. For the minute, am I correct in saying that those of you who attended are in favor of honorary and exempt members to also get this exemption?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, all right, I just wanted to,
Okay.
Okay. So, I think this issue has come before the board in the past. I know that other river towns are entertaining presentations from different community members in their towns about the rights of nature, and I'm not sure what the background of each individual board member might be with regard to this topic. And so I just wanted to take this opportunity to share this information. Can I?
Yep.
I'm not asking for any kind of conversation, or discussion about this tonight, but I think what I am asking for is that you might reconsider, after you've had a chance to review this and look at, what some of the other towns are doing, that you might consider putting this on the agenda in the future or for an open discussion.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public concern? Yes.
Hello, I'm DJ Mosher, and I've been to the board a couple times about some water, our water district down in Carnegie Bay. And, I would like to see who on the board would like to be a liaison, so I can discuss a lot of things with you all, because I wanna be going to the village and the town, and then we have a liaison from both, so we can all discuss this. I mean, Brent knows a lot about this, and probably Dale, because, you were involved since the very beginning.
And
with our water district.
Sandy knows quite a bit about it.
It's Sandy, oh yeah, definitely Sandy.
Been very involved.
But I know somebody else on the board,
Yeah.
Also wanted to be
I don't have any problem doing it,
Okay.
unless somebody else wants to volunteer. I would rather do it.
You're a perfect
You've got
candidate.
the most knowledge.
Who's the perfect candidate?
Brent.
Brent? He's all the information. Are you sure, Gene?
Positive.
I know you're positive, just kidding. Okay, so we'll get together and I'll get information with Sandy too, and because we've all discussed it before, but I want a liaison from here and also from the village. Instead of everybody going back and forth, I think that that's a better idea, and before all of the rest of my neighbors who come back, all just come to the board, all
Now, this is
individually.
in relation to Carnegie Bay Water,
Carnegie Bay Water District,
which is a town district.
which is a town district made because of the village. Poisoning.
Using the village's water.
Using the village's water because the village poisoned our wells. And so it took 17 years to finally get water down to us, and now we're a district, but because we're a 14-person district, we are being, told that we either have to go get more people in the district to lower our bill, or that this is the way you have to have it, the fees coming in, because it used to be nothing, and then it was 25, then it was 50, now it's like 100. And the reason we're having the fees is because you guys have to have money in an account for maintenance, but we didn't really ask for the water. We asked for the water after we've been poisoned, and because of all the iron that came in through the rocks from the salt contamination. So trying to figure out why we have to be punished for getting more higher bills for something that we didn't bother to sue like everybody else did, and like the 2 or 3 other houses up that way, they did end up suing, but we didn't want to do that because we're part of the community, and we wanted to see what the scoop is, and things with new people on the board, I think that they don't know, and then they just say, oh, that's a 14-person district, they should be paying their share. And I think that gets overlooked, not understanding the history of why, and why we had to fight so long. I mean, Brent was wonderful when he was on the other towns, other board too, helping with this whole situation. And Dale is at the very end of the street, so.
So we got 2 different situations here. We have a town water district, and then we have a problem that you had 17 years ago with the village.
Right, well, no, we fought for 17 years to get this,
Okay,
and we've
yep.
had the water since, 2005?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of 2 different things here, as far as the town and the village.
Well, yes, but everybody keeps saying it's the other person's, issue, and I'm just caught as a ping pong between the two, and that's why I thought if we all sit down together,
Yep.
Sandy, you and I, because Sandy's also, and then I'll pick somebody from the town. I haven't gone to the village yet, I came to you guys first, because you have firsthand knowledge of what's going on.
Yeah.
So, does that work out for you guys?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, we'll get together. My
Okay.
people get together, your people.
Yep.
And I'm the village.
Thank you.
Thank you for this, everybody.
May I just make a clarification? So in that package that I gave you on the last page, there's a draft proposal for a resolution. And this is part of what this group is asking our river towns to adopt. But I just want to, so there's no misunderstanding, I just want to make sure that you know that that's a suggested resolution. It's not something, we're not asking you to pass that kind of resolution verbatim.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
And when would the people know exactly what she's talking about in the resolution? Because I'm just starting to hear about it, so, your board's gonna have about it, but then we'll also go to the public so they have an idea of what's been voted for or against.
It can go in our minutes.
Yeah.
We'll submit it in the minute.
Would that go on, do you have that on your websites and stuff too?
Our minutes go on the website.
Perfect, okay, thank you, I didn't know this.
Yep, okay. Okay, if we're done with public comments? Oh, I'm sorry, that's right.
Devin Petrie, basically the animal control factor, needs to be more enforced for basically leash laws, and, I mean, I don't know how exactly go upon doing this, but.
So we discussed this a little bit earlier, and so we have a local law that was established in 2010, correct, Sandy?
Yes.
And, we just sent that to our attorney for an interpretation,
Okay.
to see if that's what we need, or do we need to update this local law?
Alright.
Butch is here, and while we're talking about dog control, we've been looking into doing our own dog control and our own leash law. And I myself got a little bit scared of that direction because we talked with Jim Lawrence, and now everybody has a letter that we got from the county of this new law that the state has, adopted, that I think goes into effect on January 1, does it, Butch, or, yeah?
Yeah.
And it has a lot of regulations about housing and all kinds of stuff. Is that local law gonna affect, or not local law, is that law, state law gonna affect you and what you do for the village?
Yeah, I fall under New York State Ag and Market laws, so, anything that, I'm basically code enforcement for the village code, but if, there's a violation within the Ag and Market laws, that they also apply, and there's leniency with those.
Yeah.
But, they still do apply.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel after this new law goes into effect that you'll still be able to do the job for the village?
We've had discussion on that.
I mean, that's the whole reason I didn't come back to you for the third or fourth time, because I got a lot of answers from you about what you were doing, and it seems to me, and it seems to, I think, these board members, it makes a lot of sense to hire somebody local, and you're already doing it. And I don't know what you have to have for equipment or what the procedures are, but those are just my thoughts. I don't know what the rest of the board thinks.
Aren't the biggest changes in the facilities that the dogs are going to?
Yeah, right.
So, do you provide that, or you take yours to the county, right?
I'm sorry?
Do you provide shelter, or do you take yours out to the county?
I have, the village has kennels.
They do, okay.
Right, we haven't used them in years because
Yep.
basically I do take them up to the county pound.
Okay, alrighty.
So do you think that you wouldn't have to adhere to that law? You could take the dogs directly to the county, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, I have that, well, I have the option.
To do that now.
I do.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they would be, imposing kennel fees, impound fees, before someone could get their dog back. It turns a $25 fine into like $100 if they don't jump on it. You know, if it's like on a Friday, they got the whole weekend they're gonna pay to the village office before I can release the dog. You know, and kennel fees are daily, and, you know, plus an impound fee.
But when you look at holistically with the new requirements and what your requirements would be to kennel them locally, it would be exponentially high for you to meet the standards on a month-to-month basis.
Yes, absolutely.
So that may just be a risk mitigation measure that's what we have taken, for people that are outside of the law, in the best interests of the overall, the whole district, the whole town versus the few that run into this situation. Because looking at the legislation, it would be astronomical.
Yes.
It's almost unattainable, for small, townships to meet the criteria. Would you agree with that?
Oh, I do, and I don't think you will ever meet it.
Yeah. Yeah, they made it impossible.
You know, but it's basically what we're looking at is just running status quo for the time being. And, because the village is required by law to have a DCO. So it's, you know, we're gonna do the best we can. that's it.
I think our procedure's gonna be here is that we've sent it to our attorney, and we're gonna get something back with him hopefully within the next week or so.
Well, let's, in relation to his concern, why don't we I'll give you my copy of this local law.
I got it.
You do?
Got one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would call the county, let them know that in hand, you have the already established local law in an effort for them just to address your issues.
Alright.
You know, that's the problem we're really having, is the county saying we don't have a local law when we really do. And we have other
County says you
communities.
guys don't have a leash law, so.
Yeah, and we do.
Right.
So that's the big thing, and aside from just sending to our attorney, this should just go out to Jefferson County as well. And say, hey, if we have this on file,
Yep. Yep.
you know,
Great
we do
point.
have a local law. I don't know why you're telling our community members we don't.
Mhm.
We go from there.
So,
Really,
Butch, does the county
Yeah.
charge you anything when you take the dog out?
No. No. In fact, they assume all fees. So when, the owner goes to claim the dog, then, the county actually gets the revenue for that.
I'd like to sit down and talk to Butch a lot more about being our town dog warden.
yeah.
no question, no question. I think I got scared about it because of this new deal, and that's why my main question to Butch is, after this thing goes into effect, is he gonna still be able to do it? That's my big question.
You
because
should be able to.
We'd love to have you do it.
It's
At
gonna
least
become
I
a
would.
county issue, it sounds like.
I'm sorry?
It sounds like it's really gonna become a county issue.
Well, that's what they're looking for. They're looking for expansion on their authority,
Yeah,
so that, instead of having 3 DCOs, they can bump it to 5 or 6.
yeah.
You know, and increase their budget demands and, you know, become a bigger entity through the sheriff's department. They
Yeah.
run through the sheriff's department.
Because if you look on their website, okay, there's 3 other companies, or maybe it's 2 other companies that take care of the DCO in Jefferson County.
Right.
So there's the county, and then there's at least 2 private people that do it.
Mhm.
And according to everything we read, this new law obviously is for everybody. So we're gonna have to get an interpretation, and as Gene said, I think we need to talk to you, and we're still gonna find out what we have in our 2010 local law, leash law. Anything else? Okay.
Good.
That's where we're at. When we get some answers, feel free to give us a call or stop in, okay?
Well, hopefully that law will get it taken care of for him.
Yeah, that would be the
Hopefully.
easiest thing for all
Some
of
people
us.
are just pig-headed and wanna ignore everything.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thanks, Butch. Take care.
Yep.
I know you showered this morning around.
Good to see you all.
Yeah. Okay,
Well, we pants back here too.
we'll go to reports, and we're gonna start with Rob. Or no, I'm sorry, the Bolton Avenue Rec Center.
Hold on.
What?
Let's open the bathroom quotes, right?
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we have quotes for the bathroom job that we put out. I think she advertised it, did all kinds of things, and we only have one price, right? Hourly rate is $65, 3 guys, 4 weeks, 480 hours, $31,200. Project can be completed in 4 weeks, or construction would be able to start the project after Christmas 2024. If it can be done before that date, I would be in touch to see if we could set it up. That's the extent of the quote.
Who's the quote from?
Rorick Construction. He's done some work here, he put the windows in the back hallway for us. First name is what, Dustin?
Yeah.
Yep.
How many guys?
3 guys at 4 weeks, 480 hours, $65 an hour, $31,200.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't include materials, that's just, does that include material?
No.
So you got half the cost, and you take your labor, then half the cost of the labor for the material, am I correct on that, Gene?
Probably 75% now.
Probably 75% now.
Okay, so 3/4.
So I don't,
60 grand.
So you're looking at almost 65,000 for the 2 bathrooms.
they're not. Did we put a spec sheet out for this, really? We didn't, right? We just.
Yeah, she put that sheet together that she had at the last meeting.
Yeah, that's right, sorry. Wow, 4 weeks.
Well, I don't think that's even feasible.
No.
I don't have a lot of experience in this, type of business, but, Rob, what would you think?
So this is for these 2 bathrooms
Correct,
here?
yeah, and we
Yeah.
looked at doing the hourly rate, but we may wanna give it, based upon the feedback, we might wanna look at a project rate. Unless you think that's right within the ballpark, that's right in
So
the
that's
wheelhouse.
basically demoing everything.
But the kicker is, it's not itemized.
Yeah.
It's not itemized to the point to where we don't know where the hidden costs are.
And that was, he did put on there exactly what I said, because you guys said you were gonna pay for the material. You asked for how much per hour, and I said in the bid, we're not gonna hold you to the number of hours, cause like we talked about, there'd be different things, but I said, give us an estimate of how long you think it's gonna take and when you think you could get started. And
So they might be able to do it in less time.
I can't imagine that.
Yeah, I guess that's your,
I mean, he's
Yeah,
pretty
except for when you-
quick when he works.
When you give a price like this, and you got those numbers in there, that opens that door. I mean, we just went
Yes,
through
it
this
does.
at the highway barn.
Yes, it does.
Thank God the supervisor's only one hallway away.
Stay right on top of it.
But,
I don't know,
is that,
I'm hesitant, I think we can table this maybe and.
I'd love to hear Rob.
well, I mean, so they're ripping new fixtures, new flooring, new
Walls
wall
and ceiling.
coverings,
Yep.
new ceiling. I mean, I could do an estimate. Bathrooms are expensive. I don't know, are they,
This is just labor.
right, I know, but are they jackhammering floor out, changing the layout at all, or anything?
No.
Leaving the
Plumbing
floor-
staying in the same
Floor
place,
drains,
basically.
all the drains are staying the same. I had to think about it. I mean, 3 guys
I mean, one thing we're
tripping over
doing,
each other.
one thing we're doing.
We don't know a lot, but we know enough.
One
I mean,
thing
this
we're
is not a
doing, Sandy,
4-week project.
You really gotta
help
do one
explain this, cause you
bathroom.
know more about this than I do, okay? One thing we're doing here is we're taking 2 bathrooms that are right next to each other,
Right.
and we're tearing them apart and taking the fixtures out. We're gonna keep the fixtures in the same place, I believe, right, Sandy?
The toilets will stay in the
But
same
we're
place,
creating,
but
we're making the bathrooms smaller, Rob. We're making the bathrooms smaller and creating a room in the middle between the 2 bathrooms, right?
Yep,
Oh, so you're tearing those walls out and making a plumbing chase
yes,
or something?
yep.
Okay.
And putting a half a kitchen or whatever you wanna call it in that area in the center.
Oh,
Oh geez, that ain't gonna give you much room. How wide are you talking? 4
Seen the
feet?
blueprints last month.
okay, so you got a drawing that you gave him,
Yep,
a sketch. It may not be unreasonable. I mean, I don't know how much work, but it sounds like it's more complicated than just freshening up the bathrooms.
Exactly.
I don't know, the only question I would have, this is gonna hurt you more than it's gonna help you, but are these guys all individual subs or individual 1099 guys? If they're employees, he's gotta pay them a rate. You should get certified payroll from them, you know? Cover your butt. So $65 an hour isn't gonna cover
That's not
their
right.
wage rate.
that one I looked up, cause I looked up the prevailing wage rate, and I think I called you guys, and your girl helped me figure it out, cause I couldn't figure it out, and it was like $58 when they did the windows and stuff,
Okay, 58, okay. Well, as long as he's got that figured in there.
yeah.
I mean, so they're working for wages, they're not putting any overhead or profit on it, must be, they work for wages. I don't know, 65 would cover the FICA and their insurance and everything, but I just would wanna make sure they gotta pay their employees posted wage rate. I mean, typical carpenter posted wage rates, probably I would've guessed between 80 and 90 bucks an hour, you know, with everything figured in. I don't know, Gene, you were, I don't know if you were.
85.
Huh?
85.
85, yeah. So as long as he's okay with it.
Any other input or comments?
I mean, you can talk to him about, so you got, and you can only tear one apart at once, right? You gotta keep one bathroom, unisex, I guess, right? And then finish one and then go and do the other one when that one's done. Or something like that,
Yeah.
I would think. Gotta keep a bathroom here. So I don't know, it might not be, it might take him 4 weeks. If it's that
Any other
long.
comments, talk, discussion?
Can't remember what we had budgeted for this either.
30.
30, right?
Yep. Anybody have anything else? Sandy, do you have the floor plan there with you?
Not here, I got one in there.
Do you know just off the top of your head, the room in between the bathrooms, how wide is it?
Price is 15,
It's either 8 or 10 feet.
so 15.
8 or 10 feet?
Oh, so it's like a kitchenette you're gonna put in there?
Yep,
I mean, the depth is gonna be the same as everything that's there, I understand that, I was just,
yep,
and we're gonna put a sink in there, right?
yep. That was the whole thing, like where we've got now, there's no running water. So if you wanna get anything, you gotta go into the bathroom to get water or clean anything, and it's just kind of,
That's right, you need a different, wash your coffee pot out or.
exactly.
Any more discussion, guys?
Well, when we, go ahead.
You might wanna talk to this guy and just get a better understanding. I mean, it's a good price, hourly price is pretty damn good. And if you've got experience with him, and he works along, and you've had good luck with his workmanship, I guess if it's more money than you wanna spend, that's a different topic, you know?
What's that?
You know him, Dale?
I don't know.
The guy who did the work?
Yeah.
He did put our windows in back there, that's the only way that I know him. And he's been here and he did the work back there, however long ago that was.
He's worked, well, I think he's come over by Teresa, he's worked for Bubby Olmsted for 25
19
years.
years.
And last fall, he went out on his own.
He's
So when he
definitely
did the
qualified.
windows here, he was relatively new and not getting super busy. I learned about him through my daughter. She's had him do a bathroom at her house and tile and all that stuff and has been very happy with him. He finished at my house and I was very happy with him. I think he's starting to get very busy now because now people are starting to know and, you know, so he's probably full up for the summer.
I wouldn't be so concerned if we had like, 3 quotes or 3, people that were
Yeah.
in the game versus a sole source. I think with Rob's, input and supplies, I mean, we went out on this test the waters to see if we should be doing hourly rates versus by the project, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So, there's no absolutes when it comes to, what we're gonna look at as far as just supplies
Yeah.
and equipment, and then he's at the rate or below, what the going rate is, so, I'm just not 100% comfortable given it's a sole source. Like if we had 3 different, bids come in at 65, 95, 105, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd feel a little bit more comfortable saying, hey, okay, yeah, not being in that business.
We could bid the project.
Yeah, and obviously, I mean, he's not able to do it till after about the first of the year, so we got a lot of time.
Well, that's probably gonna be winter work for whoever.
Yeah, inside, no question.
Yeah.
No matter who it is, it's gonna
You
bump
get
it.
a contractor to come in and do it right now, you don't want them.
Good point.
Correct.
So do you wanna table it or move forward, or
Let's table it and see if we can put the same thing out for a project bid.
project bid?
I agree with that. Let's do it by the project, and then, that way we're not, incorporating as much of the unknowns. We know
Yeah.
by the project, we'll know exactly. Rob, what's your thought on that?
Yeah, you could. I wouldn't be surprised though if it's gonna cost you 60 grand to do it. I mean, I haven't seen the sketch did, but shit adds up, man. Hope so. Am I on camera?
Could be.
Yeah, it does add up, doesn't it?
It adds up, yeah.
Well, we won't know until we do our homework, so.
Right.
I say we bid it
Table
out.
it, okay, so we'll table that. Okay, now, as far as, number one here, Bolton Ave Rec Center, we've got a new report, I think I sent it to everybody from, Morgan Spencer, as far as the grants that are available, and she narrowed this down to just what our project and projects are. And you don't have that, I just sent it to everybody. I think this is the one I think we gotta have a work session on shortly, and we gotta make a decision. Oh, you do that, okay.
I have it here somewhere, I just saw it.
Says unspent on the top.
Oh, there it is. So, looking at this, this afternoon, correct me if I'm wrong, the far right values are, the flat rate for applying.
Yep, that's what I interpret.
Yep.
So, to be in it, to win it, if they're all applicable to what we're going towards, and what our priorities are for, we're looking at, roughly 25,000.
Yep.
To apply for, you know, upward, potentially.
What is it,
multi-million-dollar grant.
17 different, they were numbered, and come out on the thing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So my question would be, for the rest of the board members, have you had enough time to review this all, because I don't wanna rush to failure. We can, you know, obviously do a working group, but we've talked about this, quite a few times, about what our priorities are. So in my opinion, it's almost put your money where your mouth is. We're looking for the grants, we're looking to execute. We've asked these people to look at the grants, then execute. So I've looked at them, we've asked Rob and his team to do some of them, we've asked, Morgan Spencer to do some of them also, so if those are our priorities and it's in the budget to move out on, and the rest of the board members feel comfortable, with the data, I'd say.
One of the things that I said to Morgan when I was talking to her about these things is that, I wondered what the board thought about either doing a conference call or having her come here when we make this decision or go over this. Or do we wanna not kick the can and?
Knowledge is power, and obviously, when they're sitting in front of us, there's dialogue and there's, you know, there's second and third order effects, and you're removing blind spots. I totally get that. I would be a proponent of that. I think that's a great idea, because, our interpretation, based upon experts, we hired these people to do, grants. So they're the experts, I'm not the expert, or if not, if that was the case, I'd be a grant writer. So having them to ask, hey, is 4,000, there's not a dollar sign in front of it, is that the flat rate? I don't know.
So are some of these, if I can interject,
I would
are
love
some of
to.
these for the CFA, the next CFA round?
No,
That's doing-
One's the Department of Defense Community Infrastructure Program, one's the New York State Empire State Development Grant.
ESD, but when is that? Does
It's
it say when
July
it's due?
31st, closes July 1st.
July 31st.
Right, so that's part of the CFA program. So that's coming up pretty damn quick, right? So if you're gonna talk to her, do it quick, is all I'm saying. 'cause-
No, and that's the point, is that we
One of
can't,
the issues here, Rob, is that a bunch of these all just came out 2 days ago, is that correct?
Well, the CFA was just announced, I think. I mean, they come out every year.
Right.
But like the Fort Drum infrastructure one, And the only reason I know about this, we're trying to get one for another client of mine, and that one could be tough to get, only because you need the, you need the command to endorse it.
Exactly.
Right? And we're having a hard time getting the command to endorse a project, and I'll tell, it's right next to the fort, and the village is full of, soldiers, and so, I don't know, I think you need to understand what these are and aren't, and what your chances might be.
Yeah, right.
Whether.
And then is there a recoupment, if it's a flat rate and that's just nothing ventured, nothing gained?
Right.
Or if we're not selected, do we get the flat rate back?
Right, and then the CFA one, like the ESD one is due at the end of July, okay, and I don't know, is that, like, are these all for the arena, or are there other things?
No, different, a little bit of everything. We got the sportsplex, we got, the water tower painting, we got the salt storage, we got sidewalks in Redwood, digital signs, and other miscellaneous.
Okay. Well, you're gonna wanna make your mind up.
So I say we have a working group with her on the phone or in person next week.
Like, yeah.
Yep.
Are you all good with that?
Yeah, I am, I'd like to do that.
And
not 25
and
minutes.
it's great input, thanks, Rob, because, you know, we don't know what we don't know. We're hiring, consultants for grant writers, based upon they're making the best recommendations, that are gonna be beneficial to the, you know, the town.
Some of them might be long shots.
Right, yeah, but
Right.
and all that is just calculated risk. Well, if we know the
I just
DOD one
wanna
isn't.
find out, yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't be even remotely in that game, well, why would we throw $4,000 away?
Exactly.
When we have no remote chance of even getting that?
To also answer one of Tim's questions too, is that I believe the flat rates are, you pay whether you get it or not. I mean, it is what it is, right? That's how most of these have always worked, unless something's different. Here, the other thing is that the rate that we pay to have the grant written, if we get the grant, then what? Aren't those monies?
They could be considered project costs.
That was the other thing I wanted to say.
Folded into
They can
the
come out of the project and not out of the town.
And then there's grant administration that goes with it, that she would probably wanna do. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. She'll wanna do more work on her,
Yeah,
the contract
32,000
in relation to
flat
the grant.
rates to get them all.
Okay. Well, I know, you did pretty close.
Ballpark. I have this.
Everybody take a look at this, which I know you already have some, and I'll call her and see about setting up an appointment at 5 o'clock. One of these days that I'll send you guys an email, to pick a date.
Any night except for Tuesday nights.
That's a really good night to miss for us too.
Yeah. Yep. No Tuesdays.
It'd be really good if you could press her to meet us in person.
Yeah, I agree. I'd much rather have her here in person.
I agree.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay, the next one is the amendment to the policies and procedures that we did.
You're skipping over the top part of the,
Yeah, we sure, well,
Right through that.
That's fine, go ahead.
yeah, we did Rob, we did
we didn't do Rob yet.
No, go to Rob.
You're right. Okay, we're gonna go back, Rob, we're going back to number 2, the engineering report.
All right, real quick, so we got quotes on put the pipes in to support the gazebo, and that's actually down in new business too, but it's old business. And I got 3 quotes. I got 2 written quotes, one from Northeast, right, which is Geronimo, for $20,700. One from, Door Marine at $22,700. And then O'Rourke Well Drilling, cause I thought a well drilling rig could back up and sink 9 casings, and he was actually more $24,500. Okay, and I emailed these to you, Brent has them, and I sent you a confirming email, and I just forwarded it to you for your record. So Geronimo is the least expensive to put those 9 pipes in. again, we're assuming putting a pipe, you know, they're 20-foot sticks of pipe. I don't think they're gonna go 20 foot, we'll probably hit rock before we hit 20 feet. I doubt we're gonna go over 20, but if we do go over 20, for some stupid reason, then he'd have to add another casing.
If we're under 20?
What's that?
If we're
If you're under
I
20,
know.
yeah, you know, you gotta buy a whole casing, you sink it in, cut it off. If we only go 9 feet and hit rock, and we got an 11-foot
cut it.
stick,
Yeah,
we should be able to negotiate something.
okay.
Around. It doesn't include, you know, putting the angle iron around or putting the deck on.
Yeah.
And I know we talked a little bit about that, if these guys don't have time to do it, I'm sure you could get Geronimo to do it. You know, T&M for the angle and the decking.
Well, my feeling is we gotta get moving on this thing. It's been 3 years and Geronimo's pretty anxious to do it. I've talked to him about 3 or 4 times.
Can he do it right away?
I'm hoping. I don't have that confirmation, but.
I'll make a motion, move forward with your
I'll
animal.
second that
Motion by
motion.
Sean, seconded by Dale to, accept the bid from Geronimo from, what is it, Northeast Marine?
Northeast Construction, I think is,
Yep, Northeast Construction.
Northeast Construction,
Any discussion?
How much was it?
$20,700.
24, okay, so
Any more discussion or questions? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? None.
Now, let me ask you a question. Once we get these pipes driven, how soon can that gazebo go on?
well, so you're gonna have to put a deck on it, right, and then put the gazebo on it and fasten it down, so.
I think as long as Geronimo's there doing the work, we talked to him about doing that on T&M. Let's get this project over with. It's been on our backs for what, 3 years now?
Yep.
Let's talk to him, get it done.
Yeah, it's good to get them scheduled. I don't know, how do you move it before you?
We put it on a trailer with a Daewoo, the excavator, and put it on a trailer, we just gotta knock the legs out of it, so.
Okay.
Which we'll definitely get that, if we can get the job done, we'll get it down there, we're ready for it. I can't commit to anything else right now.
Sure.
This rain every other day isn't helping my progress any at all.
Yeah.
Did you send me?
Okay. So we got a motion passed to have Geronimo do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on.
No,
What's that?
you got more, don't you?
Well, yeah, so I'm just reading grant funding report, so there is a round of grant applications due on, June 14th for WIA, which is, Water Infrastructure Improvement Project. I don't know if that was on her list.
No.
I didn't see it, no.
WIIA, okay. So we want to submit, for that, I guess I just need to know, am I doing it or is she doing that? And then the WQIP, which is due at the end of July, I didn't hear that on our list either. So I just think I need to coordinate with,
Yeah.
you know, so we've got Redwoods, the water tank, and there's some controls that need to be done, and we also have, obviously, Route 12 sewers, the primary one we want to get back at, so. And we are applying to EFC for the Route 12 sewer. We've got to reformat the report into the new format. You got an email, I think, today, you forwarded it to me, that we've got to have that done in a month.
Right.
So,
Did we apply for the WIA within the last year, either the village or
Yeah.
the town, and didn't get
we didn't get
selected?
it.
No, wait a minute here. We actually got a WIA for 600 and some odd thousand that we had to return.
That's right.
Correct?
Yep. And
So we
can
did get a
reapply. We did get a WIA grant, but when, that was under the old project budget, then when the budget went up, see, it was 25% of the cost after every other grant, so we only got 660,000 when we thought the project was only gonna cost 5 million, cause we had some other grants lined up, but now you can get up to 50% of unfunded balance, okay? I forget what the cap is, okay? The other one we can apply for is, they're doing the income survey in Redwood. So we can do the CDBG application once we get that income survey back. that is due at the end of July as well, that CDBG application. So a lot of them are bundled into this CFA, process, at the end of July.
CFA stands for
Consolidated Funding Application. So they took all these different.
CDBG, Community Development Block Grant.
Yeah, and that's, they folded that into that as,
And we were gonna use those for what, the water tower, Rob?
well, yeah, for Redwood, for, the rest of the improvements at the sewer plant.
Yeah.
And the water tower, and there are some controls that need to be updated in the pump house.
Pump house, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're writing for that, we got Morgan looking at the outside, should we just pick one and stay with one person on them all?
Well, I guess I don't mind doing the water and sewer stuff,
Yeah.
cause she'd need all our information anyway to do those, but the other stuff, you know, that you're looking at, you know.
What's the flat rate for the WIA, do you know, Rob?
I don't know what she wanted to apply for the WIA.
I don't think I saw that one on there.
No, we
did I?
got the WEQIP for 2,500.
WQIP, that's water quality improvement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's 2,500 flat rate.
yeah, that's a different
Okay.
program, but that's not due. WQIP, I'm not sure what the due date is. Did she put that in there?
Yeah, July
31st.
Yeah, that's part of the CFA too. So I guess we just need to coordinate what she's doing, what we're doing, or if you
Well, we don't
want.
have the WIA on here, so
Okay, so
I'd say we move forward on
Water
Rob
and,
reapplying for that.
water and sewer with Rob,
Yes.
everything
Yeah,
else.
Absolutely, because he's
I mean,
I mean,
already,
I don't mind working with her too. If she wants to do them, I can support her, you
No,
know?
you've done a lot of work on
you've
water
already
and sewer
been
already.
through them, so I just assumed.
We've always had good luck with you on water and sewer.
Well, we haven't had very good luck so far.
Got a little transparency.
Well, we did. We didn't have good luck on the price, is what we.
You're right.
When we're on this, Rob, is there anything else out there for more sewer pumps for Redwood and the
Well, that
London
would be
grant?
the CDBG.
Part of that?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep.
Cause we still have, what, half of them to replace over there roughly?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you want some
And
pits.
we're running low on our supply,
Yeah.
and they're expensive.
Anyway, that's really all I got. Oh, the prices due for the trench drain and the ventilation over at the highway garage next Wednesday.
So those are two prices that he did the specs for, where those are due next week.
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
And then, when we got into the ventilation and the heating improvements, you're out of power.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you this?
Yeah.
You kinda knew that.
Yeah, we knew that.
So, they just got a 200 amp service. We gotta increase the service size,
I
so.
was gonna say, a 200 amp service running that whole barn.
No, not with the compressor and the welder and all that. And you gotta have a new transfer switch anyway, so we're gonna bump it up to a 400 amp service. I think we can just twin another 200 amp panel. I leave the old panel, I think we can. I think Todd came over.
Yeah, I talked to Todd a little
And
bit.
scoped it out.
Yeah.
So, I got a little plan together, so we're gonna have to get pricing on the electric service upgrade, so that's more to come. But it's kind of
If you say we're gonna have these bids next week on the,
on the trench drain and the ventilation system.
yeah, I'd like to see us have a meeting as soon as these bids come out, so we can move forward on this work.
Sure.
I hate to wait another 30 days, because the longer we wait, you're pushing it more towards fall,
We can
and
just
they're gonna be back putting plows on trucks
adjourn
and,
tonight's meeting and
yeah,
Adjourn it and set another date.
right. That's what I'm thinking, adjourn this one and set
They're
it for
due
another
next
date.
Wednesday.
Oh, we gotta
Yeah.
meet with Morgan anyway, so.
maybe
Maybe
we
not-
could wrap it all into one night.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wednesday or Thursday night?
Thursday's not good for me, but I don't have to be here either, so.
They're due Wednesday,
Do Wednesday, yep, in the middle of the day.
so that night, you think we okay?
We'd have something then. The only thing it costs you, a lot of times contractors don't look at it till the last minute and then they want it extended for a few days. You know, I think I would wait till the week after,
Okay.
Okay.
you know, so maybe 2 weeks from today. Does that work?
Okay.
Make sure it works. Then we can make a decision then.
Okay, nothing else, Rob?
Unless you guys have anything. I can't.
Swan Bay, your guys working on.
Swan Bay, we're working on a permit
DEC permit
application
to
for that culvert.
put the flow through it, Swan Bay.
Do we need
Okay,
any of
moving
the
on.
paperwork that you had sent?
Well, it's been going on for years.
Finance section and all that stuff that,
Swan Bay silting in because it doesn't know where to
some
go
of the
through.
stuff due that they needed to go? Or did you have all this stuff already?
How long was I out?
Long time.
Okay, moving on, gonna read.
I haven't heard that one brought up in a bit, Swan Bay.
What's that?
Swan Bay, we haven't brought that up in a bit, have we?
It's been back and forth.
6 months.
And the reason it's come back is that Rob got a picture of it that looks like showed the opening where the water used to pass through. And that was one of the stumbling blocks that we hit, I wanna say a year or two ago, with the DEC, because they wanted proof that it used to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a picture, somebody gave me a picture and I passed it on to Rob. So he's proceeding with a DEC permit.
I'd love,
That doesn't mean it's gonna happen, but we're gonna apply and try.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love any information on that.
Yep.
So I'm not.
Like I say, it just kinda came back into existence. So
Yeah, that hasn't been brought up for easily 8 months, 10
No,
or so.
that's quite a while.
Forever,
Okay. The month of May is a review period for the assessment department. 2024 tentative assessment rolls available for review in the office from May 6th through and including May 20th. During this period, property owners get a chance to discuss their assessments, review the inventory of the parcels, and have a conversation with the assessor. On Tuesday, May 28th, we'll have the board assessment review in session from 12 noon to 4 and from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Property owners will have the opportunity to agree with their 2024 assessed values and verify information on file with the assessment department. The data collection for the upcoming reevaluation has begun. Jefferson County Real Property staff is conducting aerial surveys of parcels located in the map sections as follows: 1.2-1, 7.21-1, 7.22-2, 7.29-1. All these parcels are located within the village of Alexandria Bay. After the aerials are completed, staff will do physical data collection of these map sections. These sections were selected to be first to collect before the influx of people to the town for the summer season. The County Real Property Office recommends advising property owners that the data collection is taking place and staff will be in their neighborhood. We need to decide on how we plan to accomplish the notifications. One option is to send a letter to the property owners in advance of the collection. Another option would be to publish it in a local newspaper. Individual letters will cost approximately 64 cents per letter. If you choose to send individual letters, I'm attaching a copy of the proposed information letter to consider. We're doing an online courses required by Jefferson County on Friday, May 31st, to include the following: anti-harassment training for employees and workplace violence prevention and active shooter response. I think we got a copy of that letter in there. At 64 cents a letter, we're looking at $2,600.
I think it's best if we send a letter.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one can
I
say
would
that
say
we.
do both. I mean,
Yeah, the other one
Yeah, 'cause the other
doesn't
one-
cost anything, so that's
Right.
do both.
the website, paper.
And you can't, they shouldn't be surprised. We should do every, bit of, education and informing people. Last thing people want is to be blindsided and not given the opportunity.
Is everybody okay with the letter, or do you want a chance to?
No, we need to send a letter to everybody.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, and that's the
No letter? Yeah.
This looks good.
Yep, I'm good with it.
So if this looks good, somebody make a motion that we
I'll make a motion.
select this letter, and this is what we're gonna send out. Motion by Gene,
I'll second it.
second by Sean. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, none.
Brian, I do have one item that Sandy reminded me, is the bond resolution for the Otter Street sewer project.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to apply for the grants, right, you need a bond resolution in place. The bond resolution authorizes you to spend up to, in this case, $5 million for that project, all right? It doesn't commit you to doing it, it asks for the public's permission to do that work. But to apply for grants, you need the bond resolution in place. So, Tim, McGill sent this to you, Brent. I don't know if you circulated it.
No, I think I did electronically.
Okay. But it's basically says, whereas that you wanna do a sewer district for Otter Street, and that the cost won't exceed the comptroller's threshold as far as the user costs, and then you finish seeker. We finished seeker last meeting, remember?
Mm-hmm.
I read that, bored you all to death with that, and then, that the cost is not to exceed $5 million, okay? Now, and we're gonna try to get grants to reduce the local share of that $5 million down, or we will. $5 million, the number of users can't afford $5 million, right? We gotta bring that cost down with grant. So, we need adoption of this resolution tonight. And then there's an estoppel notice period. Sandy has to put the bond resolution in the paper, and then there's a permissive referendum period, that has to pass before it comes into effect. So I would ask that you pass the bond resolution tonight, if that's okay with everybody. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to look at it, or
I haven't had a chance.
gotta have it.
I haven't seen it.
Gotta have it to apply.
I would love to see it, just if I could.
Yeah, or if you wanna do it, we could change the dates and do it at your next meeting.
Sounds like it's in our best interest to get it out.
How time sensitive is this?
We have 30 days for permissive. You want to read it? Bob, or what? Passing around right now.
Yep.
That's pretty standard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Are these typically 40-year bonds?
That's the maximum by law for water and sewer projects. If you were to do a building project, they're less depending on the construction type of the building. So, local finance law has maximum bond, length of payback, depending on the type of construction. Sewer and water is 40 years.
Okay, so everybody take care. We should do it tonight. Agreed?
I'm good with it. It's pretty standard. I mean,
Standard deal here. So we'll take a motion. Do we have to go through a process here, Rob, to do this?
Ask for a motion to pass the bond resolution.
Okay, I just read this at a meeting of town board of New York, held at Town of Alexandria, New York, on the 15th day of May. Bond resolution dated May 15th of the town board of the Town of Alexandria, New York, authorizing general obligations serial bonds to finance sewer system capital improvements within the town, authorizing the issuance of bond anticipation notes and contemplation thereof, the expenditure of sums for such purpose, and determining other matters in connection therein. And this is for $5 million, right?
Up to, yep, up to, you can't exceed that,
with no commitment.
no commitment.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Sean.
I'll second.
Second by Gene. Any discussion?
I'm all about no commitment.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, none. Pass.
Sorry about that.
Not a problem. Anything else, Rob?
No.
Okay. Where are we, Sean? I was reading
Highway
the assessment
report.
report, we're going to the highway report, is that?
Yes, sir.
The guys been busy, we started some road work, we've got Swan Hollow already mowed, trimmed, ready for cut shoulders. Hopefully tomorrow, if rain holds off some more, start pipes on it next week. We've also in between, they've been hauling stone and moving stuff for the Molder mediation crew. It looked like we had a yard sale going on for a while, so, but we're all very pleased with how well they're cleaning the building and doing a good job on it.
Good.
We worked on barn settlement a couple days, we're all ready for the slip lining crew to come in, hopefully end of this month or early June. So that's all in place and ready to get those 2 deep pipes taken care of before they collapse. Bill's working out really well on the mower, he finished up sweeping for us and enjoying being out on the road working for us, so. Other than that, all the trucks are back online. The new one just got back from Whitesboro, getting all the wiring straightened out on it, so.
That's straightened out?
Yeah, asking us to cover the cost on it.
Perfect.
To get it back online, so. Other than that, just kind of move forward on road work. Weather isn't very cooperative, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have a bunch of old parts you wanted to do something with, Zach?
The village actually came and got a bunch, pretty much all of them. They had they worked on their trucks and pretty much all the other stuff was just, they went to Kimco downstairs because it was either broken or it wasn't worth fixing or whatever, so.
Good.
Okay. Thanks, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
Zoning reports on the website, water and sewer reports on the website. Anybody want to, I think you guys all have a copy of that stuff. Okay. Sandy, do you have a clerk report?
Yes, all reports have been submitted to Jefferson County in New York State. I turned over $1,793.51 to the clerk in May fee, $1,300 of which were transfer site and brush pit permit. Just a reminder that June 10th and 11th, the clerk's office will be closed, so Donna and I can go to the records training at River Edge. Is there any I had somebody come in and pay their, taxes, third installment, and they asked about, is there any rules in the town, like we've got the junk law, is there any rules about people having to mow their lawns and keep them in a certain thing? I didn't know what to say to them, so I just.
Maintenance law, and let me tell you, we tried that years and years ago when Sampy was supervisor, and we were lucky to get out of here alive. People, the public is definitely against a maintenance law, and you going in there, the town going in there and tell them how to maintain their lawn. And that's what it all comes down to.
We're not in the HO.
So no, there is no maintenance law as far as I know on the town book. What people keep their lawns mowed.
Okay. Thanks, Dale.
We filled this room with people that night. Most I've seen in a long time.
That everything, Sandy?
That's all I got.
Okay. Moving on, we've already done old business number 1, the grant deal we're gonna meet. The next one is the amended city policy, everybody has that in front of them.
So this has been amended, or this is the current?
This is the amendment. And really, I think, Sandy, the main part of this amendment is rather than once a week, we're gonna do the town clerk mainly takes payments for the property taxes and so on. They will go to the bank daily, then once a week the town clerk will provide the accounting office. That's the part that we're gonna change, right, Sandy?
Yeah, whoever had written, had come down, said that I was required to go daily to the bank. I normally do. I don't wanna be handcuffed to daily, because sometimes I might only take in $5 for a conservation license. And my office is open until 4, and on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I might not get there before 4. And so what I put in there in place of it was the actual law. It's the New York State clerk's law on what their requirements are for me, which says that I have 3, which is way too liberal in my opinion. You know, I have up to 3 days after I reach $250. Well, I don't let anything stay in this office after Friday. It goes to the bank, and I usually go 2, 3, 4 times a week. I don't like being handcuffed to daily, because if I'm out for a few days and Donna's here, she doesn't normally do the deposits, why not just stick with what the law is? And the weekly thing to turn my stuff over to Nicole, no. My stuff is completely separate. I have no problem at the end of the month giving what I give to Brent to her, and she can check up whatever you want her to check. But birth certificates, death certificates, that sort of stuff does not get turned over to Nicole. That's, no. I'll quit my job.
Is the, abstract addressed in this?
No. No. That was, the only one that I addressed was the one that really pertained to me per se, because there was like 4 different ones, and that was the one section that pertained to me that I thought, why are we straying from what the law is? And so I took it right out of the book. If you want me to look at the other ones, I will.
Yeah, 'cause we talked before, right, that the abstract by law is supposed to fall under your purview.
Right,
This seems like a perfect place to have that.
okay.
I mean, I don't know what anyone else's feelings are about that.
I agree with you. I know Sandy's has a little bit of plan about entering into this abstract situation and taking it over. I mean, she has a plan to get together with Nicole on it. Is that correct? Yeah.
So we can,
So we can amend this now and then amend it again?
that's what I'm thinking,
Okay.
it's easier that way.
Yep.
If you have a plan.
Yes.
Okay.
So, just reading over this, monthly reports, the town clerk is, in quotations, required to submit monthly to the supervisor verified statements of all monies received and paid such monies to the supervisor who shall deliver a receipt, therefore spelled wrong, and then in parentheses, I don't know, just let's make sure the language is dress when we submit it.
Yeah, because there's a, I see it says the number 9, right,
It should
Jim?
be, yeah, and
It should be a parenthesis.
Parentheses, yeah.
Therefore, should have an E.
Yeah.
Mark it up and hand it to him.
Okay.
Other than that, I'm fine with it.
Okay, we've got that change. Anything else? If everybody's okay with it, I'll ask for a vote.
Oh, okay.
It's a roll call, isn't it?
I believe so.
So, thank you.
This isn't required roll call, Sandy? No.
No. Do you have a motion in a second?
Okay, so I need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Dale, second by Tim. Any discussion? This has an amendment in it, and you have that, right, Sandy? What was just changed?
Yep.
Okay. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, none. Gutter drain. You ended up with what, 4 prices?
5 of them.
Yeah. Everybody's got. You brought me one more price that you had, that was from,
Yeah, I've got 5 of them. I got Wellsdown Building Supply, Garlock, the Cleves, Watertown Supply, and Route 37.
yeah.
Problem right now is 4 out of 5 are expired.
Mhm.
And the one from Watertown Supply was actually the best option, but they were one of the higher prices.
Right, I see that. Looks to me like Garlock's is the low bid, and Gene, the materials are the materials, is that right? They are what they are?
Are they all the same?
They're not all the same. Watertown Supply's got, like a clamp-on deal where he just anchor bolted to the side of the building, and the other one's got a build a strap and a U-bolt, and then you fasten that all.
So they're using a Sammy and a split ring?
Yeah, pretty much. Building a hanger instead of just clamping it to the side of the building, so it's more labor intensive that way.
Discussion? Questions?
This is for the,
Drainage that's gonna hook to the gutters. The gutters are gonna bring the water down, and then we're gonna pipe the water to where we want it to go, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Garlax is
Where are we piping the water to?
To the end of the building, then we'll bury it underneath ground and send it out over the ditch, basically where the other tile line runs. So.
Okay.
Can we see the Watertown Supply one?
Yes.
Watertown Supply?
Yeah, Zach had it.
Oh, okay.
It's not in here.
No, not in here.
Did you make copies?
Zach, do you have a suggestion on this?
The Watertown Supply one would be a lot faster and easier than trying to cut all thread and
get after it.
make that.
He knows best.
the whole
Get that
thing
right away.
easier.
I'm not gonna vote on it, being an employee of Garlock.
Smart man. You need an updated one of those, Zach, for within the 30 days? Is that why it's not good?
Well, no, the only one of them's still good. Route 37 is the only one that isn't expired. All the rest of them are over 30 days and expired, so.
Yeah.
So you don't even know if these prices are actually correct right now.
Right.
I think just for functionality and use and, you know, deferring to expertise, I would get an updated quote. If it's in the same ballpark, I'm good with going with them.
I was gonna say, I'd say we're gonna go with them, we accept that on the grounds that it's updated. The numbers are what they are.
Can you get us another quote?
Yeah.
If it's,
I'll talk to you, too.
I'll take care of it tomorrow morning.
right.
So do we wanna accept that, or do we wanna hold off?
What was the cost on that, real quick?
$2,046.92. If we're gonna adjourn this meeting, I can get an updated price on this for Zach tomorrow, and we can handle it there. Everybody good with that?
I concur. Table it.
Yeah, we can install them after the gutters are on, cause Putnam's is planning on sometime this month, late this month or whatever.
What's your time savings on that?
It's more of just you put your pipe together and you clamp it on. The other one, you gotta cut, all thread comes in 6 foot length, so you gotta cut it and thread it into a hanger and then screw that and then put the clamp around the pipe, so.
You know,
Yep.
save
Either.
money, cost.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, so we're tabling that. Ladders at Butterfield Lake. I did not get a picture of the other ones, they wanted me to come over and look at them in a box.
Where was that?
Well, didn't they send you,
There's a picture on the back of what they look like.
yeah,
On which one, on the back of?
Those the islands.
Right here, right? On that?
No, that's an online option, isn't it?
Is it?
Or, oh, I don't know,
Oh, here it
actually.
is.
No, that's Route 37 Building Supply.
That's Route 37, yep.
Yes. Yep. So I asked for not, not wood, something else, metal, aluminum, plastic. And of course, you see where the prices, I believe you got 3, 4, and 5 steps. 4 and 5 steps. There is a 3-step from, Wolsey Island.
Yeah,
Is there a big benefit between the aluminum versus the composite? I mean,
I would think so. Rob?
Composite will be easier on the legs and feet.
I would think it would be a lot.
This is for a ladder?
Yeah,
Yeah, the durability,
It'll come out of the water.
aluminum's gonna be way better in composite in the long term.
I would think so.
Way, I would think so too.
Aluminum's gonna be the most durable, no question.
I say, they fund these poles.
And it's cheap.
Yeah, I'd say 5 ladder for aluminum at Wibb's. It's $200, ladders or blue painted aluminum,
Yep.
no brainer to me.
I'm good with that.
Am I missing something, guys?
I don't think you are.
Dale, are we missing something? Composite versus aluminum?
No, I think,
Going with aluminum?
there again, I can't vote on this
I know,
because
but you-
being an employee,
You
but
could tell us, aluminum versus composite's gonna be better in the long run.
composite's better,
Than aluminum?
yes.
Why?
It just seems to last longer.
What's the ladder for?
You should abstain.
What's the ladder for?
Off the dock, that's what it was.
A safety ladder, like?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they can get in and swim.
Dog friendly.
Why, you didn't hear that?
Dog friendly.
Yeah.
I don't like the plastic stuff, composite, especially in the sun and but that's.
All right, I'll go with our, engineer's suggestion.
Me too.
He's also a health officer.
Yeah, oh, nice, well played.
We'll go with the 5-step.
I'll make a motion, Wells Island 5-step aluminum.
Motion by,
Tim, David.
what's his name?
Oh, to the right.
By Tim, second. Second by Sean, any discussion? 5-step aluminum WIBS. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, none. Okay.
One abstain.
Well, that's right, make sure Sandy's got that for the record, what I'm saying.
Yep.
Status on pricing for center floor today, we just talked about that, both of those systems will be out next Wednesday. So we'll move on to new business. Resolution to sign a contract.
Want me to read it?
Yep, please.
Actually, is this roll call?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is.
Contract to auction by Castle Stables?
I thought you guys approved that last month.
Probably did too, but.
We discussed it and then tabled it,
Did we?
if I remember right.
You think what?
We didn't because we were still waiting on 10X and the others. We haven't made a resolution to go to Rostec yet.
Right.
There's not a resolution number on this, I don't know if that matters, but contract to auction Bonnie Castle Stables, whereas the town board of the town of Alexandria approved a motion on April 17th, 2024 to exercise a contract with Rostec Auction Services, Inc., 80 Smoke Hollow Road, number 3, Baldwinsville, New York, 13027, to auction the Bonnie Castle Stables facility, Route 12, Alexandria Bay, New York, 13607. And whereas the auction has been scheduled for Wednesday, July 17th, 2024 at 1 p.m., and whereas an open house will be held on Wednesday, July 10th, 2024 from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. for any interested parties to view the facility. And whereas the contract states a buyback amount of 2.5% of the bid price. Therefore, be it resolved by the town board of the town of Alexandria to approve the signing of the contract with Rostec Auction Services, Inc. for the auction of Bonnie Castle Stables. The foregoing resolution was offered by Councilman Blah, so. Need a motion?
So we need
I'll
a
make a
motion. Motion by Tim, second. Gene. By Gene. Roll call.
Councilman Honeyman,
Yes.
Councilman Thomas,
Yes.
Supervisor Sweet,
Yes.
Councilman Davidson,
Yes.
Councilman Crane.
Yes.
Motion passed. New business, holiday lights on poles in Plessis and Redwood. I sent you guys, some information. Tim Helmer from Plessis has provided 2 large packages here, he's done a lot of, research. He's gone and, I think you guys saw, he's numbered every pole, he's got everything down here, and we're applying with National Grid to have them put outlets on the poles so that we can put Christmas lights on these. And we don't have any pricing yet, and that's where we're at. If anybody wants to take a look at that, I think I sent you guys that stuff, didn't I?
Yep.
That's really just an update of what we're doing with that. addition of CHIPS from 3 other state programs. If everybody remembers on the financials, the revenue side of the CHIPS money only had the main CHIPS money. It did not have the Pave New York, the EWR, and the POP. So what we're doing in our budget transfers tonight is we're moving that so that it's all in one fund where it needs to be, so we have a clearer picture of what we're spending on roads.
So, this doesn't have barn settlement on it.
That wasn't gonna be CHIPS money.
Yeah, it should still be on what we have in front of us though. Right? Am I
Yeah,
right?
because
We
we're
want
gonna have to
total.
transfer money to do it.
There's a CHIPS program as a whole, and then 4 programs. No.
That original sheet that I did that has the breakdown of all the. Here, Brett. Of all the roads, no, I'm looking for the one that I did, the, other sheet that has the roads in it.
You have this sheet, Zach?
It says the road.
Yeah, somewhere in here, I'm trying to.
It says the roads.
Correct me if I'm wrong, we want all projects on this sheet.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
And
We
we
need barn settlement for the pipes being,
Yeah, and we know that we were short
We'll take 2 copies too, please.
small amount.
Good catch, John.
'cause that's gotta be on there, and the balance transfer, the budget transfers have to be corrected if we're doing something.
Yep.
That's why there's not barn settlement.
Yeah, it was an add-on
It was an
in
add-on.
my,
What's the price on, what's the number on that?
40, no, what was that one?
I've got the exact contract. That's the one that's on. So whatever comes up.
Okay. How much? This is for the pipes?
That's for barn settlement, that's when they came out and looked at the site and everything.
So.
Oh, no.
That's what you wanted, right? Yep. I think I got one more lateral.
What do you need?
$44,492.
It was pretty close to what I gave you.
Yep.
But they came out and did a site inspection and all that.
So everybody sees by that other worksheet that Nicole, that we had 20, what was the number there, 21?
Balance was 21.
Yeah.
So we gotta come up with another 23.
Right.
It
And
just, that's the only thing that's
That's the whole
missing from this
reason that
sheet,
we
right,
wanna do
Zach?
this exercise is to see, which we don't have to do tonight, to see how much money we have to add to that out of our reserve.
Yep. Yep.
I didn't get that one. I think that was the night on the road.
Did you make a note of that on your
Yep.
sheet?
So,
you
so
know?
Zach, what we're gonna do is, we don't have to do this tonight, but we wanna add some money to what we're gonna, you know, to your fund, I guess is what I'm trying to say here. And we won't have to do that tonight, but we have, we're gonna be a little bit short from the money we have budgeted right now. Okay, so,
Which barn settlement wasn't anticipated,
Yeah.
so.
That's the one that wasn't on. Before we left, we knew we had coverage,
Yeah.
after we were just short.
We're just
so
minus
we'll,
44.
we'll deal with that, we can deal with that at our next meeting. My question is, before we deal with this at the next meeting, this is gonna be a transfer of money from the reserve. Is this everything?
Unless something major pops up, that's, as of right now, that's it.
But this is everything for road jobs
Yeah.
that you wanna do?
Yes,
Right?
yeah, major road jobs, yes.
And that's mainly why we have in the past given money out of reserve to that fund, is to do more road jobs or to do more work. So,
Prior to that, we're gonna do this at the meeting we adjourned to. Can you just make a note to have Nicole give us that reserve amount, please?
of what is in reserve?
Yes.
Yes.
For that meeting.
Yep.
Specifically to, this would be D, is this a DB expense? This leaving, or is that DA?
DA.
That's a DA, isn't it?
Leaving would be DA, wouldn't it?
Yes.
That's repairs.
So,
Right.
we're gonna have to. Which we're gonna be fine, but.
Yeah, we're definitely going to.
anyways, I just wanna make sure we have the corresponding reserve. Yep. To that.
Anything else as far as roads or anything? Zach?
No, not right now.
Okay, cool. Okay, as far as the addition of that money, we're gonna take care of that right now with the budget transfers. Everybody sees the budget transfers in front of them.
Well, do you wanna do that one where you're gonna,
We wanna wait, don't we?
oh, no, that's CHIPS money, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this budget
That's-
transfer is just putting the CHIPS money in where it needs to be.
Yep.
So it's in there, okay? So these are budget transfers, general B,
You wanna start? Yep.
safety inspection PS, debit $4,000. Safety inspection CE, debit $1,000. Board of Health Personal Services, credit $500. Community Enhancement CE, credit $1,000. Zoning EQ, credit $500. Zoning CE, credit $1,000. Environmental Control EQ, credit $1,000. Environmental Control CE, credit $1,000. Highway DB, Permanent Improvement CE, debit $137,053.23. This is an increase in permanent improvements that's coming from the CHIPS. State aid CHIPS, $137,053.23 credit. Edgewood Water, unemployment insurance 32 cents debit. Social Security town share 32 cents credit. Any discussion? I'll take a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Motion
I'll
by
second.
Sean, second by Dale. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Presentation of April financials. I think I gave them to everybody. Everybody got them in front of them with their name. Okay?
Yep.
Fuel tank replacement, we talked at the last meeting, we're gonna put that in the 25 budget. Are you okay with that?
Yep.
Okay. Just wanna put that out there. And the last item I have is scheduling town employee evaluations. I'd like to start next week, and what I'd like to do is have different people, do it with me. It'll just be two of us, or it could be two of you. Talk about a schedule. It's probably late in the day is best for everybody. And I'm only talking about doing one or two at a time.
The later the better.
Okay? So, if everybody's okay, what I'll do is I'll send something out via email, and I'll pick two a day, or every other day, or something like that, and see who can be here to do that. Okay? What else do we have to add here, though?
Is there anything we need to go over on our dashboard while we're all here?
Yeah, you have that, yeah, at the top of the dashboard has, Tim had sent the most recent things. I just kinda wanted to go over my answers and what I filled in, okay?
This printing is,
I'm sorry?
this is all of
This
what's
is all,
on
but
May's dashboard?
It is, but the top part is just May, in other words, down to old business. Am I right there, Tim?
Yeah, from our last meeting.
Yeah, okay, so, paperless, you guys all saw the, email I got from, is her name Lily?
Yep.
Right? Saw the email there. I talked to ABS about it, they're not really interested, they don't really wanna get involved. It sounds to me, that Chromebook is the best way to go. Does anybody have any input into this?
That's what we're using currently, and it's effortless, perfect.
And it comes disconnected, or how's the screen thing work?
It's dual option, at least the one I have, it's either mouse or touch.
Yeah.
But it's, if you ran a computer, it's.
And it's a laptop form?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any other discussion or input into doing this?
No, I think it's gonna pay for itself in a short amount of time.
I think if I'm
just
understanding
looking
the
on
pricing
table.
right, it's $300 give or take, that's awful cheap for what we need to do here. And does everybody agree that we need to have 6 of them, because I think the town clerk needs to have one?
Yeah, we said that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're looking for someone to help you with this, Matt Turcott might be able to too.
Okay. He's familiar with this
Well, I just think he's
He's
set it all up.
Yep.
One of the things we talked about were emails, email addresses for everybody. And I'm sure he could set that up within a Google account, or
Oh, yeah.
Lily did offer some kind of help, but obviously it seems like she was busy, so
Yeah.
whatever comes easiest, quickest.
Well, then
Is what I would,
then I'll go to Matt Turcott and ask him to
yeah.
help us if everybody's okay with that. He
Absolutely,
already
yeah.
does all of our.
Sooner the better.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the reasons I went to ABS. I thought they were tied into this.
Doesn't make your job and our job a lot easier.
Yeah, sure will. Okay, that's the Teamster proposed changes. That's kind of in Dale's and Tim's hands. I think we've answered, and Sean sent one out today or yesterday of what you guys' replies are, right?
Yeah, I consolidated.
Yep.
What
Yep.
everyone's.
Dale, did you give your inputs?
On, Teamsters?
Yep.
I sent you the,
Yeah, I know you did.
okay, just take a look at that and let me know, that way we can
Ask him to
schedule.
go back with Bobby.
Yep.
Okay. Road maintenance and ownership, we all got the opinion from the AOT. I think we all decided we're gonna go ahead and do what we have to do in that alleyway, or what's it called over there?
Yeah, it's ours.
Yeah, it's ours.
Street or
Okay,
whatever it is.
Hollow Street boat ramp, Rob's working on a DEC permit, correct?
Right.
In process. Maybe Improvement Association, what are we doing for Redwood? Fence at Redwood Playground, I asked everybody to go take a look at that wooden fence and tell me what you wanna do there.
Yeah, so I just wanna back up a little, not to speed, but
Yep.
Dale brought up a good point, when you look at the ABA, Community Improvement Association, we need to be doing the same thing for Plessis and Redwood.
I agree.
If those exist, so we need to do some reach out, and be good stewards, making sure, we're consistent across the board. So thanks for doing that, Dale. I think that's just part of being good stewards. Would you agree with that, Dale?
Yeah.
I'd hope so, you brought it up.
And that's, and that's why I've got a couple things filled in here, as to what some things that we are doing for Plessis and Redwood. As far as Redwood's concerned, we put a $28,000 playground in there 3 years ago, and we put a $11,000 fence around it last year in Redwood. We're looking to put digital speed signs in both Redwood and Plessis at the expense of the town.
And being the new guy on campus here, I can appreciate that, but I don't wanna compare apples to oranges. I want apples to apples.
You want 5,000 to 5,000.
Well, and I just think, yeah, we can murky the water, and that's just me, maybe, you may be right, and it goes back to the discussions that we've had in the past, what do you get, for your town taxes as a village member too, so I just wanna make sure that we're consistent and that we're comparing apples to apples. If it's based upon the majority of this board, to say, hey, and you're spot on, we are doing a lot of stuff, but I just don't want it to be lost in the sauce, and we're validating or justifying not doing consistent, expenditures of money based upon projects that we're doing across the board. That may be very well, and if that's what the board wants to do, I can understand that. But I think messaging wise, we do a lot of other things for a lot of different, organizations and districts and villages and towns, or whatever the case may be, but I just don't, I wanna be apples to apples, oranges to oranges. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. And just as far as Redwood's concerned, one of the things that I'm pushing, for over there, that we got a nice response from Morgan on as far as the grant, is a possible sidewalk project in Redwood, which I think would be a big thing. That for 32 years at my grocery store over there, I heard a lot of people talk about the sidewalks in Redwood. Moving on.
Sorry, I don't wanna belabor the point, but the Redwood playground fencing thing, what's the decision point on that? Whether to finish it on the backside?
I haven't gone to look at it, to be honest with you.
So it's the old style, what do you call those fences?
Split rail wood fence?
Yes. split rail wood fence, a lot of rotten, a lot of not good.
Is that what rounds up towards the old Felders and the Whiskey Wagon, that area there?
And as I said in my letter to you guys, I think it somewhat delineates our property line. Okay, and it really kind of sections off that field there that's next to it. We could take some good, the fence that's there is broken in 4 or 5 spots, it needs to be replaced. We can shorten the fence up and make it smaller, we can rip the whole darn fence out, and we can put a whole new fence in. That's the decision we need.
We really don't know the purpose of the fence, though, do we?
Not really.
Right. So I can't,
I mean, aesthetics.
Except for if there's people, if there's something going on there, there's kids playing in that field that might keep them out of that parking lot.
Is it our fence?
Behind the tavern.
yeah.
Yeah, is it
for sure our
Use
fence?
that big grass area, Sandy, behind the tavern that you ever saw while you were over there?
Did who use it?
Anybody, kids, taxpayers.
Is it for sure our
The kids on
fence?
four-wheelers. The kids on
I
four-wheelers
don't know
that were
that for
tearing it
sure,
up.
but we've always assumed it is.
We might wanna get a topographical
Well,
down on that bad boy and
yeah.
make sure it's,
Right, I gotta agree.
I wasn't sure if that was part of the, back when it was the Yap Inn, cause if I remember right, it used to run up towards the Yap Inn until somebody drove through it.
I guess we better make sure it's our fence then, hadn't we?
Yeah, 'cause I tear the thing down, and then someone's coming looking for a new fence.
yeah, they wanna stamp concrete.
Now, it's funny
barrier.
because it was brought up to me by some people in Redwood, and they must have talked to Jay and Jamie, because Jay and Jamie came and talked to me, so we need to look at that fence in Redwood, it's that one we have, so, but we gotta know.
Make sure it's ours before we make a decision on it.
Yeah, and if there's a code requiring it, or I don't know what the rules are for playgrounds, but, I mean.
Playground's all fenced in.
That's
what
fenced in.
We put a chain link
Right.
fence around the playground, so that one is,
Yeah.
You know, what I would say is that specific type of fence, I'm not sure if I would be in favor of putting that back up. Aesthetically pleasing, they're easy to break. I mean, you just sit on that thing and snap it, so.
I mean, I kinda like Dale's question, what is the purpose of the fence?
Oh, yeah, if we can get away with it, or get rid of it at no cost, then,
Yeah,
then yeah, I'm all for that.
alright,
Just need to do our homework.
let's find that out.
Okay. Where are we here?
Pass-through grant.
Pass-through grant to Redwood, did everybody read about that? I sent that letter that I sent to you all, I sent it to Mike Lasan and to Andy Silver, just to make sure that it's okay that we can do that. That's where that's at, okay? If Mr. Zimmerman, that engagement letter's been signed and has been mailed with the amendments that we spoke about at the last meeting. Green Ranch permit, I'm not really sure, does anybody know anything about that, where we're at with that, or where that situation is at, I should say?
No. It's not,
Phil Reed has called me twice about it, and he basically said that things were under control, he talked to the people at the county, and he feels it's moving forward.
so it really seems like it's out of our control.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because it was, the county was
Yeah.
making the requirements for
Yep.
the sewage
it
and.
wasn't the county, it was the Department of Health.
Yeah, Department of Health.
I ran into it when I was working on
Well,
the
Department of
campground.
Health that was controlling the, access and the traffic on Route 12?
No.
That wasn't
the
Department of
septic.
Health. It was actually the roadway and driveways also. Both of them,
I only knew about septic, I didn't know about the roadways and driveways.
yeah. So if you had a big event and you're pulling out on 12,
Oh, yeah.
that was part of it.
And the,
Sewage.
yep, yeah, either way, the issuing permit is gonna come from the county, I think, right?
Correct. For the business.
So it's out of our hands, I think.
Yeah.
So, moot point.
Well, whoever it is, no matter who it is, it's not the town of Alexandria.
Road tour results, I think we kind of all went over that. I've got the spreadsheet that I sent you, on that. Does anybody have any other questions or anything on that?
Thanks, Zach.
Yep.
Yep. Overtime hours, I think we need to discuss that, not get into it now.
Yep.
Hazard mitigation, I spent an hour and a half on the phone with the lady who runs this show, and she walked me through the 15 questions that were pretty hard for me to answer, and we got the answers, and I'll put the whole document together in the next day or so and send it to you all. It was, I mean, they're going back 15 years and bringing up every storm we've had in 15 years. And they're curious about how we handled the storms, what it cost us, what problems we had, what help we need. Which,
Only need money, and they're flush with it.
Yeah, you're right. And a lot of my answers on all those questions were, you know, we maintained the roads, we sanded and salted them, we had overtime, we had so on and so forth. That basically was how I answered it. That's all I have for that. I still, am planning on looking at all the undone ones, as Tim had talked about, and we'll put a list together of those and see if we can whittle down that list.
When's our next meeting on the, sports complex, to slap the table?
We don't have it scheduled. I think we should do the deal with Morgan as soon as possible. That was my first thought, do it with her as soon as possible. And after we do that with her, then I'd say we go back to Andrew.
Is everybody comfortable with the numbers, budget-wise? I know what you sent out, Sean, but helped. But I do think we can move forward with the grant process, but we still need, as a board, to make sure we're all in agreement with best case, worst case, grant-wise or no grant, on what we can afford.
Yeah, I think,
And that's what you've been working on.
yeah, I think probably we're not quite ready to slap the table with that yet.
No.
Tim, I think we gotta get,
No, yeah.
like, our conversation
Yes,
just today is we gotta
absolutely.
get Nicole on board, have her take a look at that.
Right.
And some of that formatting was funky anyways to kinda mess with.
Yeah.
But all I'm kind of working on is for us to have some eyes on what things could potentially look like, or, you know, we could back out anything on that thing, really, and figure out where we could potentially come in at. The big thing for me is, I wanted to, if you look on those tabs and you see 24-1, and then versus 25, if you guys see that stuff, the difference in fund balance being used, right? So if we can make cuts and use $700,000 of fund balance, it'd be right back to where we are, but that's a practice I think that we should try to work away from if we can do that. And I would more so rely, you know, the only revenue number I changed was off our CDs, cause we under budgeted that. But simple math, we're over 5% right now, we got over $1 million, we're gonna make 50,000 there in a year.
Yeah.
Alright, easy. So, that's increasing, so we just need to, you know, dial some stuff in.
More homework.
I'll work on that some more with Nicole too.
Awesome. Okay. Any other questions on that stuff?
No, thanks.
Do we have anything for executive session?
I don't have anything for it.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to you guys just for a few minutes.
Okay.
Give us a rough purpose about an employee,
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I need a motion to go in executive session to discuss the history of a current or a possible town employee. Is that right, Zach?
Yes.
Possible?
Yep, it is.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Sean, second by Gene. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, none. Send that down that way, will you?
What's that? You got the audio. What?